Hello, everyone. Welcome to everyone who's joined in the past few minutes. Kate is away, as you know. She's away this week and next, and she asked me to host the satsang for her while she's gone. I was just messaging her this morning, and she sends her love to everyone. She said, please let everyone know. Give everyone my love. Okay. So she sends her love. She's enjoying her holiday. And tonight we're actually Annie is up in my left-hand corner, and we can all say hi to Annie and say thank you so much for coming in and helping with the co-hosting of this meeting. So grateful you're here. Tonight we'll be talking about trust. I was asking for guidance this morning. Annie and I met a little bit yesterday, and we were kind of going back and forth, and trust is definitely something that he wants us to talk about this evening. So we're going to talk about the way to remember God is the section that we're going to be reading. That's in chapter 12, section 2. And isn't that such a beautiful title? The way to remember God. Yes, that's so beautiful. And we're going to then end with a meditation on trust. But I'd like to start with just a little prayer and for all of us to join in that in lesson 321. And I invite you, if you'd like, to close your eyes and just kind of feel the content of these words and just feel yourself open up to them. Father, my freedom is in you alone. I did not understand what made me free, nor what my freedom is, nor where to look to find it. Father, I have searched in vain until I heard your voice directing me. Now I would guide myself no more, for I have neither made nor understood the way to find my freedom. But I trust in you, you who endowed me with my freedom as your holy Son will not be lost to me. Your voice directs me, and the way to you is opening and clear to me at last. Father, my freedom is in you alone. Father, it is my will that I return. Let's just sit here for a moment in silence and let that kind of sink in. Father, I trust in you. So the trust always comes first. We choose to trust. That's what we get to do, is choose to trust. And what we're choosing to trust is God, Holy Spirit, Jesus, our brothers, and also our path, whatever's in front of us. We trust it. And that's our choice to do first. So on my journey, I started with just a little trust with Jesus, because I really felt the truth of what he was saying in the Course. I could feel that what he was saying was true. And even though I didn't understand it all, I knew that what he was saying was true. And so the trust came from that at first. And then that trust just expands. We trust him, we experience a miracle, and then we trust some more because of that experience. And then we trust some more after another experience, and we just keep developing that trust that he knows the way, and that everything that we're experiencing is perfect. It's perfect for us, and we can give it to him, and he can show us how perfect it is. I'm actually really feeling to share a story right now. It was a specific holy walk I had taken with Jesus. And for any of you who don't know, one morning, really early in the morning, I heard the words, "Let's take a holy walk." And I was about ready to roll over, go back to sleep. And this burst of energy came in. And it was just so, oh my gosh, I couldn't go back to sleep at that point. So I got out of bed, and I got dressed, and I went for a holy walk with Jesus. And it was quite an experience. We were blessing everyone. I joined with him. And so it wasn't just a Shannon saying, "I bless you," but it was me and Jesus joined in some way that I can't understand, and fused together in a way that when we were blessing everyone that we saw, I felt like I was being lifted up even higher and lifted up even higher. And it was remarkable. I can't even, that first experience, because it was so, so beautiful. And so after that, I went for holy everywhere. Every time I went for a walk, it was a holy walk. I knew that he was there with me, and I would go on these holy walks with him. Well, one day, it was about a half hour into our holy walk, and I was just feeling just that really high, like, place where I'm just kind of pulled up above and just enjoying his love and his peace. And there was a woman walking toward me with a stroller, and it was a really wide one. And I had to get off the sidewalk. I had to step off the sidewalk to allow her to pass. I stepped right in a hole. Right into a hole, and rolled my ankle. Now, in that moment, I mean, because I was so filled with love and peace, and I was just really joined with Jesus, I didn't have any thought about that in the first moment. But then the second moment, the ego thoughts are just swirling around my head and saying, "Oh, this is exactly what you did before, and you're going to be in pain, and you're going to be on crutches, and you're not, this is going to be a big problem, and you're going to have serious issues." So I was bringing in this past experience that I had doing the same thing. And I heard the words, "Stay with me." And in that moment, I just didn't give any power to these ego thoughts at all. I didn't buy into them. And I could feel myself pulling up a little bit, like I was going to engage with these ego thoughts, right? That were swirling. And when I heard "stay with me," I just stepped back again, and I was free again. Well, then there were future thoughts swirling around my head. "Oh, how are you going to walk home if you're if your foot, do you need to get your husband to pick you up? How are you going to get all the things done that you have to get done this week if you're on crutches? So then it was the future, right? And I heard the words, don't look at that, stay with me. And I was pulled back again I just stepped back. And it was really my choice. I could choose to listen to the ego thoughts in those moments. Then it was just all about, are you sure that your ankle is okay? Don't you think you want to look at it and make sure it's not swollen? Then it was, I don't know, maybe you should look. And I saw myself looking for the pain. Like I knew there was like, the ego was telling me, look, you need to look at this. Like, this is serious. This can be a serious problem. And again, he said, stay with me. And it was that last one. I so wanted to look at my ankle. I wanted to look at my ankle and see if there was anything swollen. I wanted to see if there was any pain in it. I wanted to make sure it was okay. I mean, like if I tell you the burning desire I had to check on it and just make sure, just make sure it was okay. Now, I didn't do it. I wouldn't do it because I was in that holy place, and I knew that it was stronger than the thoughts that were swirling around. So I could have very easily, very, very easily, I mean, I could have chosen to say, oh, I'm just gonna look and see. And who knows what would have happened, but I'm pretty sure I would have had a swollen ankle. I would have had to go to the hospital, to the emergency room, but none of it happened. And it was such a miraculous shift in the way that I was seeing everything. I needed to experience that because it was such an affirmation of trust in my mind. I knew, I trusted him, and the trust in that moment deepened so much that from that point on, my holy walks actually weren't, every single moment of my life I decided to have as a holy walk. Every moment. How could I not make that choice at that point? And so, yeah, what started out as a little trust, a little trust of like, what he's saying in here really actually sounds like it's true. And I think I'm going to trust him to show me the way, to taking holy walks with him. And now every moment, giving that to him, giving that trust to him, and letting him show me what is happening. What is happening here? Because do we really ever know? No, we can try to pretend that we know, but there isn't really anything that we know. He has the whole picture, and he's shown me that so many times over and over again. The one other thing I do want to say is that before I started on these holy walks with him, I had compartments. Like really, like when I'm looking, he showed me as I sat in meditation, there were these compartments. So like there was this work compartment, and like that compartment, I kind of just thought I could handle on my own. And like, I really never asked him to come with me. I mean, he actually went in the car with me to work, but then I didn't take him in. So there were like these compartments. So there was like, and if anyone read the blog post that I posted on Zoo to Miracles, like you'll see that like what I call the attic, but like it was just like this dark space over an oil lamp with his face glowing, and I would talk to him. So that was like my Jesus compartment, right? And so like it was only in this dark attic with a oil lamp where I was actually like, okay, let me find out what's going on here. Can you tell me about this? I need to know that, what did you mean by this in the course or whatever? So that was my like Jesus compartment. Then I had the work compartment. I had the family compartment. And, some of them until a really big problem came up, then it was like, oh, actually, I really do need you here. But then it's like, all right, I have it taken care of now. So you don't have to fill me in. So I had all of these compartments, and these holy walks actually, it's what it made everything the same. It made everything following him. There was nothing that I wanted to do on my own anymore. And so really, yeah, like that's kind of like what the development of trust was for me. And I really felt to share that with you, just to show that in trusting him, like there is nothing that our holiness cannot do. And it's such a beautiful experience. So now, after that, we're going to read this section, "The Way to Remember God." And Annie, did you want to start with reading the first paragraph? It's
Yeah, I will.
pages.
Also, I just want to hang on a second, I just wanted to say to Shannon, that story is an incredible demonstration of that generalization of the lesson too, with it coming in with that one moment of trusting and just staying with him. And seeing the choice point really clearly and choosing, and then it just being generalizable to everything in your life, and just seeing that total action of mind so clearly too. That's a really incredible story as that demonstration. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Annie.
So as Shannon said, we're reading from chapter 12. In the blue FIP book, it's chapter 12, section 2, The Way to Remember God. So again, it's just, what's beautiful too is like as Shannon read the prayer, it's just such a gift to be able to just hear the words and let the words just penetrate. The sounds come into our mind. Someone else is reading, we don't have to do it. We can just let those sounds come in and penetrate as if it's Jesus speaking directly to us. Just got to give myself a little bit of room here. I've got the laptop on my lap. Okay. Miracles are merely the translation of denial into truth. If to love oneself is to heal oneself, those who are sick do not love themselves. Therefore, they are asking for the love that would heal them, but which they are denying to themselves. If they knew the truth about themselves, they could not be sick. The task of the miracle worker thus becomes to deny the denial of truth. The sick must heal themselves, for the truth is in them. Yet having obscured it, the light in another mind must shine into theirs, because that light is theirs.
Deny the denial of truth. that's, our, that's what he's asking us to do as miracle workers, is to deny the denial of truth. I can't remember exactly where he says this in the course, but he does talk about the amount of work it takes to deny the truth. He says that we are working so hard. I mean, it's taking up a lot of what the mind space to deny what we are. And so denying the denial of truth is really accepting it, right? So it's accepting the truth of what we are and what our brother is. Yeah, I love it. That's great. The light in them shines as brightly, regardless of the density of the fog that obscures it. If you give no power to the fog to obscure the light, it has none. For it has power only if the Son of God gives power to it. He must himself withdraw that power, remembering that all power is of God. You can remember this for all the sonship. Do not allow your brother not to remember, for his forgetfulness is yours. But your remembering is his, for God cannot be remembered alone. This is what you have forgotten. To perceive the healing of your brother as the healing of yourself is thus the way to remember God. For you forgot your brothers with him, and God's answer to your forgetting is but the way to remember. Yes, it's trusting our brother who is one with us, right? And trusting God who is one with us, and trusting Jesus who is one with us, and trusting Holy Spirit who is one with us. So the first where he says here is brightly, regardless of the density of the fog that obscures it. And it reminds me of where he says, a cloud does not put out the sun. The sun is shining brightly. We, as the Holy Son of God, are shining so brightly as the light of the world. And whatever fog we think is surrounding us in any given moment, it can't put that light out. It can't. And so if you give no power to the fog to obscure the light, it has none. And I feel like now I'm starting to understand why he wanted me to tell that story, because I could have very easily, looking at that, I could have very easily, that was the fog. It was the fog of the ego thought system trying to tell me about what's happening, right? And so, but I gave no power to it. I did not give it any kind of power over. I wanted to, because I just wanted to make sure it was okay. My ankle was okay. But no, like we can stay in that light. And it through practice. I mean, it's not like that happened. Oh, I read the first page of the course and then I could, trust him that much. But yeah, through practice, it's possible. It's possible to deny the denial of truth or give no power to the fog and know the light that we are and accept the light that we are and be the light that we are. Annie?
It's important too, Shannon, in the paragraph you just read about the sharing of it too. We can't just sort of accept it like, oh, I'm the Christ and I'm healed. It has to be given to our brothers. We have to see the wholeness in Christ in our brothers. God only gives, and he gives all to all. And as in his thought and likeness, we have to offer and extend that same vision to our brother and see him as healed and whole, see only the light in him and perfection. And that heals our own mind and keeps the memory and of that wholeness alive in us as well, while perception seems to last.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Annie. And that's where I love what Kate does, because she gives us the Christ blessing, and she takes us through these exercises that, we are like, that's where all the healing is really happening, is in the mind. And so we don't even have to be in close proximity to someone to see them as light, and to be able to join them there, to join them in that light. And that, what a beautiful gift that is, to be able to join with each other in light. That's what the we go together, you and I, in the Song of Prayer is kind of coming to mind too. It's like we're doing this together. We are, yeah, I mean, walking side by side, hand in hand. And he says, I cannot go without you, for you are a part of me. And that includes Jesus. That includes, it's the Christ mind. Yeah. Thank you for that reminder, Annie. Is it my turn to read?
Oh no, I'll go
Oh,
on.
okay.
I just had to get my mute button off. Perceive in sickness but another call for love, and offer your brother what he believes he cannot offer himself. Whatever the sickness, there is but one remedy. You will be made whole as you make whole. For to perceive in sickness the appeal for health is to recognize in hatred, excuse me, in hatred the call for love. And to give a brother what he really wants is to offer it unto yourself. For your Father wills you to know your brother as yourself. Answer his call for love, and yours is answered. Healing is the love of Christ for his Father and for himself. So again, going back to the first paragraph, the understanding of what sickness really is, which is that denial of what we really are, or the forgetting, the being asleep to what we really are. And everything that is not participating or remembering that is only, Jesus makes it really simple. It's just a call for love. And as we offer that love where there appears to be a lack of love, the memory of love and the strengthening of that memory of love occurs in our mind, which again brings forth more trust in us that love is there. We are not lacking in love. We have it to offer. We have it to extend to our brother as the reminder. So again, Jesus, he's teaching us to have a singular action of mind in every situation, circumstance, or whatever comes to mind. You can only offer love. And as you offer that love, you strengthen the memory of that in every mind, because you offer it to the whole mind.
Yes, exactly. I remember two friends and I held a workshop at down the street from my house, and it was a beautiful joining. I mean, the whole room was just lifted up. I mean, we were just so filled. And people came up to me after my presentation and after my talk or whatever, and I could see the longing for God in everyone's eyes. I could see it. And I just wanted everyone to know in that moment that you are that, and you are so loved. And that whole following week, I was driving around like every person I saw in their car, I could see that they were the call for love. I could see it. It was just so clear. And so I was like, I would start crying and I would just cry because like they don't know that they're so loved. And I just wanted everyone to know. And so I finally remembered to ask Jesus, and what can I do about this? And I just joined him in mind, and we were just sending love to everyone. And he said, this is your call for love too. And it really was a really cool moment to recognize that, yeah, okay, so I'm seeing this call for love everywhere. I mean, I would be walking down the grocery store, picking up a cereal box and see someone and start crying because I wanted them to know that they were loved. And and so it was really I couldn't get past it for a few days. And then when I remembered to ask him, it's like, yeah, it's only love. And we can give that all the time because we receive it, and then we give as we receive, and if we all give it to each other all the time, and there's nothing that can be outside of that, nothing that can be outside of that love.
I love David Hoffmeister's little story. He used to say, no matter what the appearance, it's almost like there's just a child there saying, please love me, because we've
Yeah,
forgotten,
yeah.
we're in the forgetting, we're sick.
Mhm.
Jesus describes that's really the sickness.
Yeah,
It's really, if you've got a cold, cough, cancer or anything, the sickness is that forgetting of who we really are, that denial.
yeah.
Everyone's walking around going, please love me, no matter what, whether they're, no matter what the appearance or the face or what's coming out.
Exactly. Even if they're yelling at you or whatever. I mean, it's all that. It's like, can you still love me now? Will you please love me? Yeah. And that's it. I mean, we all want to know that. I mean, that call, we all hear it on some level. We know it's there. The call back to love, the call back to who we are, to what we are. Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. Remember what was said about the frightening perceptions of little children, which terrify them because they do not understand them. If they ask for enlightenment and accept it, their fears vanish. But if they hide their nightmares, they will keep them. It is easy to help an uncertain child, for he recognizes that he does not understand what his perceptions mean. Yet you believe that you do understand yours. Little child, you are hiding your head under the cover of the heavy blankets you have laid upon yourself. You are hiding your nightmares in the darkness of your own false certainty and refusing to open your eyes and look at them. Yeah, we have to look at them. We have to look at anything that's fearful. And I think I shared this in another satsang. It's like, if we, like, every identity that we're holding on to and that we want to really have as who we are, as soon as we let go of that, there are things underneath of that, like, because the world will tell us, okay, if I'm spiritual Shannon, then I'm not able to um, be mad at people. Oh, I'm not supposed to act that way. I'm not, fear. Oh no, I've already looked at all my fear. I remember one time I went to Wawa, it's a convenience store here, and to get a bagel and some coffee, and I'm waiting for them to toast it and put some cream cheese on my bagel. And I'm standing there, and earlier that morning I was doing one of the lessons on judgment. And I just remember thinking, oh, I really don't have to spend that much time on this lesson because I've already taken care of that. I don't judge people anymore. And I was standing leaning against the donut case, and all of a sudden I just became hyper aware of every single little detail. I mean, every single thing in this store. And it's not that big of a store, but there were people walking in, and I was noticing short people, tall people. I mean, it was overwhelming to me. And I left without my bagel. I couldn't even be in there anymore. And so I sat in the car, and I'm like, what was that about? He said, you think you don't judge anymore. Seeing your brother as a body is a judgment against him. Seeing someone as short or tall. So I was just thinking the judgment was, oh, it's just when I look at someone and say, judge them, their personality is wrong, or like judge them as mean or whatever. No, it's like actually like the whole perception. And so it was really it was overwhelming to me in the time, but it was a really powerful understanding for me to just see that we're not, yeah, this is not something that is like a very small thing he's asking us to do. He's asking us to see everyone as love, and to know. So we still see the body, but beyond the body, we know what's beyond the body, and we know that that's who they are. And so there is no judgment about the shape of it or the height of it or the any of that. And that was, yeah, that was very powerful. And that's one of those things. So that was kind of when I thought, being spiritual Shannon, that I had relinquished all my judgment. And so as I'm letting go of this idea, this concept that like I could ever be a spiritual person, which he actually said to me was an oxymoron, you know, as soon as I let go of that, all of these things come bubbling up, like all of these things. So I was hiding them under the covers. Like he's saying, I was hiding them under the covers. And the cover for me in that instance was this identity of being a spiritual Shannon, and soon after that, he had me even look at myself as an idea. He's like, just start calling yourself to yourself, call yourself the idea of Shannon. Just let yourself get used to that you're an idea. Just as a dream, when you're laying in bed dreaming at night, they're all ideas. There's nothing solid about any of it. And so, yeah, he just takes us through these little experiences that really solidify what he's teaching in our mind. But hiding any of it, we have to look at it. Annie.
Um, it's funny you told that story because that really goes along with the meditation that I was given, that we were talking about yesterday, which we're probably going to save for another week. But it is like people think it's just the right, wrong judgment, but it's not. It's every little thought. He says, I see only the past. Look at the computer, and you see all the zillions of little thoughts you have about anything. And so it's like, people go, and he says, even your so-called good thoughts, oh, it's a beautiful day, even those are shadows, because they're still your just idea of beauty. There's still a projection of an idea of beauty. Someone else comes along and goes, it's all right, because it's not, we're not seeing what's there. We're still just seeing our own ideas based in separation. And he's telling us what you think you are is a belief to be undone. And that's wholly inclusive. It's like a whole thought system where all these little ideas and descriptive terms, all of them spring off from. And those are the things where we're being purified. They're being undone in our minds as we go, washed from our minds. So as our minds are cleaned and the miracle takes place, we cannot see that way. We don't have that commentary coming up in our minds about, we're not projecting those ideas anymore onto the figure or any scenario on the screen. The mind's literally seeing past to the light, even though the appearance is still there, but we're no longer projecting those thoughts of separation that make up that self-concept in all its myriads of forms and roles and ideas. Like you said, Shannon, they're just ideas, and he's training us and washing our minds so we see they're meaningless ideas. They're empty clouds that have no meaning at all because they do not come from the mind of God. They're not our real thoughts. They're all part of the false concept, self-concept, and the ego thought system. Okay, so the next paragraph was
5.
Sorry, did you want to say something, Del?
No, I was just going to say paragraph 5 we're on next.
Thank you, Del. Oh, sorry, the cat's biting me. Let us not save nightmares, for they are not fitting offerings for Christ. So they are not fit gifts for you. Take off the covers and look at what you are afraid of. Only the anticipation will frighten you. For the reality of nothingness cannot be frightening. Let us not delay this, for your dream of hatred will not leave you without help, and help is here. Learn to be quiet in the midst of turmoil, for quietness is the end of strife, and this is the journey to peace. Look straight at every image that rises to delay you, for the goal is inevitable because it is eternal. The goal of love is but your right, and it belongs to you despite your dreams. So this is beautiful. Again, it's like there's the borderland of thought. Something's arising, and it's arising in us, and there's a fear. And again, this is where our trust comes into. Our trust comes into that moment where there seems to be a moment of terror rising. We've become familiarized with what we think, and there's that moment of not knowing what will happen if we really relinquish it in a certain way. So we have to stand there in trust, listening to him, that all is not lost and the help is there. We're being brought through, the journey into darkness, but we will not be left there. So as we stand that, we come up to this almost like this borderland of thought, where an outer ring of terror, you could say. And in the midst of that, learning to stand still and letting it arise so that we can be shown that what we thought was not anything at all, and there was nothing to fear. And that goes along a bit with like Shannon and I were talking about yesterday. We were talking about going to these worst case scenarios, like in the ego's judgment sort of thing. There's like, we might have these worst case scenarios. Okay, I'm homeless on the streets, or whatever the scenario is, I've lost the love of my life, whatever it is. And we use these scenarios to sort of see where we are with that. Is that like, no worries, I'm good, I'm completely at peace, if that appears to happen? Or is there some fear there? Is there trepidation? Is there something arising? So we can use those scenarios, any scenario, to bring up and look upon whatever nightmare is still being retained in our mind, so we can offer that up and stand with him and let ourselves be relieved of those ideas and thoughts and any fear associated.
Yeah, that's something that I was taken through too. Annie and I were talking about. It's we think it's going to be like he says. In the end, the anticipation will frighten you, because it's actually and I would just hold his hand and walk with him, and he would take me down to the very bottom of my deepest, darkest fear. And in doing so, I could laugh at it with him. And these are things that, you if I told you what they were, you'd be like, wow, you could laugh at that. But because he shows us the way, and it's like he knows. So it's like it's almost like he just kind of illuminates our mind with this truth while we're doing these things with him. And we just see so clearly in that moment, and boom, it's just no, it's gone. There's nothing, no fear. And the gratitude for that, the gratitude for that, and for him being there. I mean, his help is here, and it's there for us always. It's here right now in every moment that we remember to ask. And it's such a beautiful gift. You still want what God wills, and no nightmare can defeat a child of God in his purpose. For your purpose was given you by God, and you must accomplish it because it is his will. Awake and remember your purpose, for it is your will to do so. What has been accomplished for you must be yours. That is such a powerful sentence, because it's already been accomplished. He'll show you, he'll show you how it's already been there all along. You're already what you think you need to become. You already are everything. Everything. You are created perfect as God created you, and that is what you are. And right now, that's what we all are. So what has been accomplished for you must be yours. Do not let your hatred stand in the way of love, for nothing can withstand the love of Christ for his Father, or his Father's love for him. It's beautiful. Annie, you can read the next one.
I think I just have to have a moment. Oh, a little while and you will see me, for I am not hidden because you are hiding. So that's it. We're playing a game of hide and seek with ourselves. We're like I like to think of it like we're standing in the, we're standing in the kingdom of heaven, but I've got my hands, I see it knock, I've got my hands over my eyes, but I just have to remove the veil. I just have to take my hands away. And there's all the glory of God and the whole brotherhood. Sorry, I just start hearing songs come, like the songs, like I want to say choir of angels, but it's like, it's all around us, but I see it not. I'm playing hide and seek. I've gone off and go, yeah, I think I'll be alone here, and gone off, and it's like I'm hiding in the corner, but no one's looking for me because they know I'm at home. So I have to come out of hiding. I have to take off the blinders and come out of hiding and see where I really am, instead of like hiding in my little corner over there. So a little while and you will see me, for I'm not hidden because you are hiding. I will awaken you as surely as I awakened myself, for I awoke for you. In my resurrection is your release. Our mission is to escape from crucifixion, not from redemption. Trust in my help, for I did not walk alone, and I will walk with you as our Father walked with me. Do you not know that I walked with him in peace? And does not that mean that peace goes with us on the journey? That's the way, the truth, and the life. The way is peace, the journey is peace, and the life is peace. And that help goes with us anytime we want to come out of hiding and take his hand, because that's all that can be offered through that mind, is a single action that blesses and is of peace and is of our Father and Source. And yeah, so it's like where he says, it's interesting. Our mission is to escape from crucifixion, not from redemption. Now, everything we have is back to front here. So he has to sort of say that to us, because it's like we're running from redemption and holding on to the crucifixion, rather than our mission is to escape from that crucifixion, from the nails we've hammered into our own hands, in a sense, so that we join him in the resurrection where we truly abide.
Beautiful, Annie. Yeah. And it's really, again, it's that trust. He's saying, I will help you. I'm here for you. You are not alone. You're never alone. You are joined with me and all your brothers, and I can show you the way. And that's such a beautiful thing. I will walk with you as our Father walked with me. Do you not know that I walked with him in peace? It's just so beautiful. He's so supportive and so gentle and so loving. And really, I mean, when I first started talking to him, I pictured him as a body, but he also shows us that we're one with him, and we get to learn that actually bodies aren't a thing. And we get to learn that there's not really anything in this world that's more valuable than what I'm showing you right now, which is the peace and love of God and what you really are in truth. And he just shows it to us, and he says, I will awaken you as surely as I awaken myself, for I awoke for you. Oh, that's just gorgeous. And it's so true. He means that. He really does. He means every part of it, that this paragraph. There is
Shannon,
oh, yeah.
sorry, I just wanted to say too, something you said before was really kind of important, just about your development, just even in your relationship with Jesus. It's like you started off from a certain point of having him, like you say, you still pictured him as a body in a certain way, but that was the first step, in a sense, of you developing your relationship with him, that as you matured and as he showed you more and more was revealed to you, that was sort of relinquished, in a sense. So again, that's part of the whole walk of trust and the development of the relationship, and just being him meeting you in a sense where you were able to accept on that first step.
Yeah, it's funny because when he first walked me into the golden circle, I had his hand and I started to see his hand disappear, and I opened my eyes. I wasn't ready. I opened my eyes. I didn't want to accept that he wasn't a body, because I was really appreciating being able to picture him in my mind and be able to ask him anything I wanted. And so the funny part is that it took me a while to be able to actually let go of this idea. But he, again, he met me, like you said, Annie, it's so true. He meets us where we're at, and he gives us whatever message we need in any given moment. And he has the entire picture. He knows everything, because this has all already happened. And so we are reviewing mentally what has gone by. And so he can kind of, I mean, he knows exactly. And really, ultimately, what is he? Okay, well, ultimately, he is me, right? I am one with him. We are joined, and he takes us to that place. But when we're not ready for it, when his hands start disappearing, and I'm like, no, I open my eyes, it's okay. There's never any judgment from him. There's never any feelings of guilt. There's only love there. And he laughed. He laughed. I went back in and he laughed. He said, okay, we can we can table that. We'll do that one later, and I'm like, okay, good, because yeah, I'm not feeling ready. And that's the beautiful thing, to be able to have, he's already done it. He's appeared in the world and he was able to, basically overcome it in a pure non-dualistic way, vision of the world. He knew he was one with God while he was walking about here. And so he can show us this, and that's what he's there for. That's why he wrote this course through Helen. There is no fear in perfect love. We will but be making perfect to you what is already perfect in you. You do not fear the unknown, but the known. You will not fail in your mission because I did not fail in mine. Those are such comforting words. You can't fail. You can't fail. Give me but a little trust in the name of the complete trust I have in you, and we will easily accomplish the goal of perfection together. For perfection is and cannot be denied. To deny the denial of perfection is not so difficult as to deny truth. And what we can accomplish together will be believed when you see it as accomplished. I feel like I don't even need to add anything to that.
Ah. You who have tried to banish love have not succeeded, but you who choose to banish fear must succeed. The Lord is with you, but you know it not. Yet your Redeemer liveth and abideth in you in the peace out of which he was created. Would you not exchange this awareness for the awareness of fear? When we have overcome fear, not by hiding it, not by minimizing it, and not by denying its full import in any way, this is what you will really see. You cannot lay aside the obstacles to real vision without looking upon them, for to lay aside means to judge against. If you will look, the Holy Spirit will judge, and he will judge truly. Yet he cannot shine away what you keep hidden, for you have not offered it to him, and he cannot take it from you. So again, that's fairly self-explanatory, the importance of us raising to light what is in our mind that does not come from God, so it can be dispelled. The light turned on and the darkness is dispelled. And that's the miracle and the trust we have that the light will shine it away, and we are banishing fear, all those thoughts of fear that sprung from a tiny mad idea that we could be separate.
And we forgot to laugh.
Oh, that's the cool thing too. And Jesus says, and you will laugh at your fear thoughts. And you see that the thought may still arise in your mind, but you will see yourself laugh. at the
Yeah.
thought. You're no longer taking it seriously. You're
Mhm.
lightening up, babe. Everything's lightening up. You're able to laugh at the fear thoughts, at this tiny mad idea, at the thought you could be separate, something could be wrong, whatever form that fear, thought of doubt that's come to, that entered your mind for a moment to tell you you are something that you're not, or something's going on other than the love of God and the will of God, which is whole and complete and here right now, always, forever.
Yeah, with the miracles that I've experienced, it always ended in laughter. I was always laughing. And I could have never come to that place on my own. I have to tell you, I mean, I was serious. I took myself so seriously. And I mean, everything. I mean, even the smallest problem. I remember even as a teenager, my mom would say, it would just, I mean, I just remember her being so irritated with my drama of, whatever was going on. And so to not take yourself so seriously is such a great lesson, because it really is that it's the laughter. The laughter is the light. The laughter is the light that just doesn't take it seriously anymore and sees the nothingness that it is. It's nothing. But we can't do that, like, from this vantage point of, who this identity, right, as a body. We can't. We think it's serious, all of it, and so it's beautiful to just be able to sit with him and let him shine this light into it, and leave a meditation laughing about something that we thought was so devastating or serious, or whatever. And there's so many times where that was my experience exactly. And I'm so grateful for that. So grateful that I didn't hang on, because the seriousness was what was causing the suffering. As soon as I laughed it away, I mean, I had bodily issues that weren't going to go away, for based on what the world was telling me. And I laughed at it with him. He just shone the light on it, and I was able to laugh. And I can't even tell you how he does it, because it's just like, you can't put it into words, but you come in and you're like, what? And next thing you know, you're laughing about this thing, and then it's gone the next day. It's like, what? How did that happen? And then it makes you laugh more. And then you just can't stop smiling, because it's like, wow, like all of these things that I thought were something, he's telling me are nothing. And then he's showing me. Yeah. So that's where the trust comes in. I'll read this last paragraph and just kind of summarize this whole idea of trust, because it has to come first. We have to choose it at least a little bit. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to trust you this much. It's like all he needs. We are
And
therefore.
Shannon, I just wanted, before you say that, and it's like you are trusting, all that we're trusting all the time. It's not like
Yeah.
we're not trusting. It's just what we're trusting in, what we're putting our faith in.
Yeah.
So it's that learning to trust something that's has become what is, again, it's all back to front, what is actually natural to us has become unfamiliar to
Right.
us,
Yeah.
and we're trusting in what should be unfamiliar to us, because it's not really of us, or not of what we really are, but that has become familiar with, and we've put our trust in that, all the workings, the machinations of separation in the world, how that operates. And now we're having to change direction, and trust in something that's not has become unfamiliar to us, but is totally trustworthy. And that's where, again, we're developing that trust.
Yeah. Thanks, Annie. That was a really good distinction. Thank you. We are therefore embarking on an organized, well-structured, and carefully planned program aimed at learning how to offer to the Holy Spirit everything you do not want. He knows what to do with it. You do not understand how to use what he knows. Whatever is given him that is not of God is gone. Yet you must look at yourself in perfect willingness, for otherwise his knowledge remains useless to you. Surely he will not fail to help you, since help is his only purpose. Do you not have greater reason for fearing the world as you perceive it than for looking at the cause of fear and letting it go forever? Yeah, so even here, he's talking, we're embarking on an organized, well-structured, and carefully planned program aimed at learning how to offer to the Holy Spirit everything you do not want. And so it's like, even our path, even what's in front of us, even everything that we're perceiving, we can trust in that too, because he's got this, basically, is what he's saying in this paragraph. He's got this. And so we don't have to worry about it, actually, at all. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to worry about it. We just have to say, you know what? I don't want this. Now, believe me, my journey was not that easy, and I get it. So like, it's kind of like, yeah, but we trust in him. We trust the path. So for me, I was looking at something with outside of myself and judging it as this shouldn't be. This is a problem. It shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be in my experience. And that resistance is what was blocking that trust. The resistance to what is what blocked the trust. So I wasn't even able to actually really receive his answer on things until I just was able to really just accept everything how it was in that moment, but also acknowledge that this isn't what I want. This isn't what I want, but I'm accepting it how it is right now, and I'm just going to give it to you. And so in that acceptance, I was able to give it to him, because if I were to keep resisting it and judging it as something that was wrong, I couldn't even hear his voice, actually. I couldn't even, in that place, I couldn't really connect with him. I couldn't get out, into that place where I could have a conversation or give something over. So yeah, for me, it was the acceptance. It was accepting and trusting that my path is perfect for me, regardless of what I'm perceiving it as right now. It's perfect for me, and he's got this. And so I trust him. I trust God. I trust the Holy Spirit. I just trust it with everything that I've got. I choose that trust. And then the more you trust, and it just develops into this completion, a completion of, there's just no doubt anymore. Doubt can't enter. So what I want to do now, Annie, do you have anything else to add before we go into the meditation? Okay. I think after the meditation too, because this one you could carry on after the meditation is over. You could actually just sit with it, and as long as you want after, because sometimes, I did share this before, it can take some time to have his answer come in, because we'll get distracted. I don't know about you, but other thoughts come in, and then it's like, okay, I have to bring myself back to this and just come back in. So I think after we do this meditation, I think I'm just going to kind of give like a little silent blessing to you all and kind of let you sit with it and see if you can continue on. Because I'm not sure if you've guessed it yet, but this meditation is the topic and theme of it is trust. um, so it's really what he's talking about in this section. So I just take a few deep breaths and just settle in, kind of come into this moment. Now I'd like for you to picture Jesus in your mind. I'm actually sharing my screen right now. If you have a hard time picturing Jesus in your mind, you can use one of these pictures that I put together and maybe just use one of those and see if you can see it in your mind. You'll see him sitting across from you. You could both be in chairs or on the floor, in a room or out in nature. Just kind of let a whole scene arise in your mind with you and Jesus. Now look into his eyes. Just feel a shift into his peace. We're going to affirm that we trust him. And you can use any words that you like. You can say, I trust you. I am so grateful you're here with me. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm just going to give you a minute to do that in your own words. Now feel his love for you. Let his peace envelop you. If you like, you can hug him and join hands with him. We could just sit quietly together. Now, I'd like for you to bring one of your quote unquote nightmares in, something that's been disturbing your peace. And say to Jesus, I am ready. I am ready to let this go. I know that you can help me with this, and I trust you. Tell him the story. Make sure to include how you feel about it, what you believe it's doing to you, anything else that comes up. To kind of just tell him like he's a close friend that you're confiding in. Just let it all out. I'm going to let you do this for about 5 minutes in stillness. And just after you tell him everything that's on your mind and about this story and how you feel about it, ask him, to show you the truth about this. You can even ask him what it's for, or any words that come to you, and just allow him to help you see the story differently. So while you're sitting here for 5 minutes telling him about this and letting him show you, if you find your mind wandering, take a deep breath and come back into this moment, and then feel Jesus with you and continue. Okay. Trust will settle every problem now. He is always there for you. Thank you to everyone for joining, and stay in this meditation as long as you would like after. Blessings, everyone.